sharp rise in energy prices, increase in illegal immigration and fears of Russian invasion of Ukraine. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki seeks to tackle the energy crisis by proposing a reform of the system of trading CO2 emission permits. He criticized the current system, which he says becomes a field for the financial markets to speculate upon, driving up the price of electricity, which hurts ordinary citizens most. Morawiecki called for a creation of a system which costs socially acceptable and economically rational reductions in CO2 emissions.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky took part in a meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and French President Emmanuel Macron at the Wednesday Eastern Summit in Brussels. The leaders met to discuss the situation on the Ukrainian border and a way to end the conflict with Russian-backed separatists in eastern Ukraine. The meeting was also meant to emphasize that the EU was prepared to impose additional sanctions on Russia in case of an invasion. Prior to the summit, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz underlined in a speech to the German Bundestag that any violation of Ukraine's territorial integrity would come with a high price.
Any
violation of territorial integrity will have a high price, and we will speak with one voice here with our European partners and our transatlantic allies.
He added that Germany was observing the situation on Ukraine's border with great concern. Moreover, President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen announced that the EU was ready to scale up its sanctions against Russia and take unprecedented measures if Russian aggression against Ukraine continued.
Our response to any further aggression may take the form of a robust scaling up and expansion of these existing sanctions. And of course we are ready to take additional, unprecedented measures with serious consequences for Russia.
More and more European leaders are declaring solidarity with Ukraine in the face of rising tensions on the country's border with Russia.
Another 71 people attempted to cross the Polish border in the last 24 hours. While overall this year the border guard recorded over 40,000 attempts to illegally cross the Belarusian-Polish border. Since the beginning of December there have been 838 attempts, down from the most intense moments of the border crisis in October. In order to ease the pressure on authorities dealing with the border crisis, a ban on entry to the areas adjacent to the Belarusian border has been introduced. Until March 1st, only inhabitants and emergency services are allowed to enter some 183 localities in northeastern Poland. By the middle of 2022, a barrier equipped with motion sensors as well as day and night time cameras is to be erected alongside the 180-kilometer section of the border.
Hi, I'm Don Arleth, and you're watching Eastern Express. Still to come in the program, Vladimir Putin calling for conversations with NATO, a neighborly summit between Armenia and Azerbaijan in Brussels, and a verdict from Berlin regarding a state-sponsored killing. But first up, let's look at the meetings between the heads of state of Ukraine, France, and Germany.
On Wednesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Brussels. According to German government sources, the purpose of the meeting of the three leaders was to discuss the implementation of the Minsk agreements aimed at ending the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. Russia continues to evade any settlement on the issue, instead claiming Kiev is failing to meet its commitments under the 2014 and 2015 Minsk peace deals. The meeting came as Russia has amassed troops near their common border in recent weeks. In Ukraine's opinion, Russia could be planning an invasion in early 2022. However, Moscow denied the allegations and instead accused Ukraine of provocation. According to Moscow, Russia has the right to move its troops anywhere it wants within its country. Referring to the current Moscow-Kiev conflict, Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer, who was elected chancellor earlier this month and was recently asked about Austria's views on Nord Stream 2, stated that it is not necessary to connect Nord Stream 2 with Russia's behavior in Ukraine. In his opinion, some EU countries' decision to get involved in the Russian-Ukrainian conflict is not unselfish, as they will benefit from the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline project. The Zelensky-Macron-Scholz meeting was held just before a summit of European Union leaders with their counterparts from the bloc's Eastern Partnership program, that is Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine. The Ukraine crisis is also expected to be discussed at an EU summit on December 16th, 3 days after the bloc's foreign ministers met in the Belgian capital to coordinate a sanctions response against Moscow if it launches a new military invasion of Ukraine. The military conflict that erupted following Russia's annexation of Crimea and invasion in eastern Ukraine has claimed the lives of more than 13,200 people since April 2014. Tensions are still running high between Ukraine and Russia. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Karen Donfried, who oversees European and Eurasian affairs, visited Moscow on Wednesday